So hello everybody, here I'm back with Tonkin. This is the Nasan training scenario. I've already started with the reinforcement phase. Basically both parties have received replacement points. I'll get into what they do later. So now it's the movement phase. And we've started, and it's always the Viet Minh player who goes first. So I've already moved some forces into the headquarters here to reinforce Thuyen Truong or Quang. I already have to apologize for my inability to pronounce Vietnamese names. Thai Nguyen is one of the places that can never be attacked by the French. So I mean, just one unit in here is fine. Here I have moved up these two stacks because Nia Lo is one of the objectives, and it was held by one Thai contingent each, and I have done an overrun with this really powerful Vietnamese or Viet Minh, I should say, stack, and it has been successful, which now means that the next step is to move all of the other Viet Minh units if I choose to do so, and I want to show you how an overrun works. So basically here we have a stack of two non-motorized units, and they can move along this road, and the road in non-clear is the cost is 2, so it's 2, 4. They have a movement value of 9. So now if they want to do an overrun, they can do so by paying the cost for this particular square, for this particular hex I should say, plus an additional 2. Now we have 2 because it's in a road and there is a minor river, so that's plus 1, so that would be 3. So which brings the total movement allowance at the moment, or the total movement consumption, to 7 plus 2, because that's the payment for the overrun is 9, so that equals the 9, so that's a good thing. So now what we need to do is we now need to declare that we want to overrun. I've now done this. Then the defender can retreat. Now the problem with the retreating of the defender is that only very few groups can actually retreat before combat, and that is the Thieu Duan, the Pathet Lao, the GCMA, and the Viet Minh headquarters. So this is an RTN, they cannot ambush either, which would be the next point. So now I need to choose the leading unit, and here you want to choose a unit that has a high morale value, because then there will be a die roll modifier based on the morale. So here the French player doesn't have any choice because there is only one unit, and since these two units are both identical, it doesn't really matter. So I've got 3 morale versus 3 morale, so there is no die roll modifier for this. Then I can declare Bolshevik spirit if I have a 3-step or higher unit, and I do. My leading unit has 4 steps, so I could say I initiate an automatic step loss now to get a die roll modifier later, which I'm not going to do. So I'm now going to roll 2d6. Oops. And I roll an 11, which is really good. So we mark down 11, that's the die roll. There is no morale modifier, is 0. I did not declare Bolshevik spirit, 0. It's not the rainy season, so there is no die modifier to this. So then we need to check the terrain. The terrain is road in non-clear, so we check the terrain. I don't know if I can make this available to you. So if it's wrote in non-clear, then there is no combat modifier, so no combat modifier, CBM 0. So now what we do is we have to calculate odds, and for this we need to compare the combat values. Now the combat value is this white number down here, it's a 5, and this one has a combat value of 2. So we have 10 to 2, which is 5 to 1, and 5 to 1, when I then look at this chart, the battle board tells me that 5 to 1, and I roll an 11, which is 2 DL, which means that the defender has a 2-step loss. Now this is a 1-step unit only, so this unit gets removed, it's eliminated, and I get to advance after combat. Now that is an overrun, which is basically part of the movement phase, and then there is also a different combat phase, and that is the actual combat which happens during the operations phase. I'm going to talk about this when I get to the operations phase, but now what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload this video, and I'm going to end all of the movement phases for the Viet Minh, and then I'm going to start with the movement phases for the French player, and we'll see how we get on with this. So watch this space.